Lynette Oxley here for SHAC Tactical TV. I'm here with an absolutely amazing young lady called Alexis Bierman. I've known her for quite a couple of years. She's in False Bay. You're still in False Bay, the beautiful side of the world.
Yes, most beautiful view in my opinion.
Oh, no, it is. I do seem to agree with you about that. Any case, you're one of the top lady IPSC world shooters, am I correct?
I think well, the last world shoot that we were able to attend, I was 10th in the world.
Oh, that's high up. That's really high up.
So I'm pretty proud of that, yeah.
No, we're all pretty proud of ladies doing it so well for South Africa overseas. Any case, tell me, when did you start shooting and how did you get interested in shooting?
So my parents were shooters when I was a young child growing up. And strangely enough, when I was little, I hated being at the shooting range. I didn't want to get out of the car. It was really, really difficult when I was there. But when I was sort of around about the age of 12 or 13, I started showing a little bit of an interest in it. And my dad said, you know, come along. And I started out with a little .22, which was nice and quiet and light and perfect for a little 12-year-old me. And then it kind of just sort of grew from there. I got introduced to the sport a bit more. And it was kind of just a natural progression, growing up around it, even though I just didn't like the noises and everything. It became something that stuck with me ever since now.
I can still remember you actually scooting around on the quad bike at False Bay Range before you started shooting.
Yeah.
That's a long, long time ago.
That's right. Yeah, we had the quad bikes up there to get things to the top ranges and stuff, and it was my absolute best to go scooting around on that thing.
Yes, I can remember that. Tell me, was it difficult to get into shooting as a woman? Were you accepted easily? Did guys feel threatened by you beating them?
I think when I started, they definitely didn't feel threatened. So I officially started competing when I was 14 years old. That was my first big nationals competition, and it's just gone from there. And when I started, I remember there only being a few women in the bigger picture compared to all the men. Yes, and I was one of 3 juniors competing at the nationals level at that time. And I was, of course, the only girl as well. So it was a big thing, you know, you stepping into a very male-dominated environment. And at the time I was 14, then the next year was 15, you know, you're very young at that age as well. And you've got all these big men with guns walking around, but everybody was so nice and so welcoming and so supportive, which was really, really great. At no point in time did I feel like an outsider, you know, as a woman looking in. Nowadays, there are so many women IPSC shooters and so many juniors as well, lady juniors as well.
Yes.
And it's so exciting to see that, because now there can be actual competition between the women. You know, you've got the women divisions that are competing against each other and doing really well. And then even more so, competing against the men and taking them on. So I've never really felt unaccepted or unapart of the shooting world, should I say. But I think that was probably because I started so young, so everybody kind of took me under their wing in a way. I think starting now is probably still quite intimidating, because it is still very male dominated. But we're growing in leaps and bounds. Absolutely. Each and every nationals. And I just want to keep seeing it happen, you know. One day we can be female dominated.
Absolutely. Spoke a bit earlier to Cara van Skalfwyk. She's one of the upcoming junior shooters. She's from Northwest, And she's, yeah, so it is happening a lot more often. I do think that I find that the guys have been great actually accepting ladies into the shooting arena. It's not, people think it's male dominated, and it is still, but it's not like they excluding us. They're always very helpful and not talking down to ladies, I find.
Yeah. I found in my experiences that sometimes the men want to try and be a little bit too helpful, so you've got 10 different opinions all coming at you, and so it can be quite a lot and quite overwhelming, particularly when you're new and starting out. But as you sort of find your footing and you learn and grow within yourself and within the sport, you know, not that those opinions sort of disappear, but you know where your path is and you're following what you want to do.
Absolutely, yeah, that's definitely very true. What are you shooting in open, major or minor? And what gun are you shooting?
At the moment, in an SDI in 38 super caliber. Most of my life I was shooting with a para ordnance, but recently got the opportunity to switch over to SDI, and I'm really, really loving it.
Awesome gun.
It is. And so, yeah, that's my go-to at the moment. I've still got my pink para, as I think a lot of people have seen photographs, as a backup. But now my go-to is the SDI, 100%. Okay,
that's absolutely great. Tell me, what optic are you using, and can you explain to people how the guns and open works, please?
Okay, so the optic that I've got on my gun at the moment, it's one of the Seymour sights. I honestly can't remember offhand what
model it is. Doesn't matter
what model it is. It's one of those like little ones that you could use on a production optic gun. Okay. So when it comes to open class, what's really nice is you don't have a magazine capacity. It's only got to fit within a certain length, so it can't be longer. So that means that most of the time we get magazines that hold 28 rounds. And every now and then you might be able to squeeze a 29th round in if you're lucky. So that makes nationals competitions great. You only do like 4 mag changes if everything goes smoothly, that is.
I shoot production, which is a lot more. Yeah. I do a lot more mag changes. That's
absolutely
15 plus 1. So yeah,
yes. And then you get the classic guys who at most have 9 plus 1.
Absolutely.
So our guns are basically anything goes kind of thing. It doesn't have to fit in a box. It doesn't have to have certain trigger requirements. All of them, or at least almost all of them, will have a comp on the end to help with that recoil.
So that's recoil production.
Yes, so it reduces the muzzle flip on the gun, and they're typically actually quite big, bulky, heavy guns, which also helps with the recoil, but they just move so nice and smoothly in your hands. And we can have mag wells, extended safeties, extended mag. The options are endless, basically, when it comes to open class.
It's quite expensive to start an open, so most people don't, because it's prohibitively expensive to start there. But you can start in production, which is the cheaper option. Obviously, a little bit more difficult to shoot, but still easy to start shooting in a production class.
Yeah. So a lot of people actually start off in production because it's sort of the standard carry firearms that people are carrying nowadays. Yeah. And with the introduction of production optics as a division on its own, you kind of get the best of both worlds. You get the use of the optic like in open, but you have your standard firearm that you get in production that, comes straight off the shelf and you're ready to go. And so that division is growing in leaps and bounds.
I've seen it in my own club as well, yes.
Yeah. people are really enjoying it. And the production optic guns make perfect carry guns as well, even with their optics. So people are really seeming to enjoy being able to have their carry gun and their sports gun one and the same.
Yes, and I've seen a couple of ladies that I shoot with that actually have production optic guns, like a Glock 19 with an optic on, and that's their carry gun, because obviously sight alignment and sight picture is much easier with not trying to line up front and back sights and just shooting where the dot is.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And, you know, with open guns, they're so big normally that you can't carry it. It's not a carry firearm. And they're costly when you start out. But they're a lot of fun. So I definitely recommend open.
So I always explain when I do introduction to handguns for ladies for the Gosa Girls on Fire program, I always let them shoot with a bigger gun and then a small gun. And everybody always say to me, why are you letting the ladies shoot with the Glock 43? And I say to them, I'm letting them shoot with the Glock 43 to let them feel how it is to shoot with a smaller gun, because you've mentioned bigger guns, less recoil, smaller guns, more recoil. And I don't think a lot of people understand that.
Yeah, no, that's very true. You know, sometimes getting the smallest gun on the market is not actually ideal. I experienced it quite a lot with our training academy, False Bay Firearm Training Academy, we're a full dealership, so we sell firearms as well. And over the years, you get a lot of men coming in and recommending that their wives purchase the smallest gun, or even a
revolver.
Special revolver.
Yes.
And those things hit horribly.
It's absolutely terrible.
Not the best choice out there at all. So I think being able to offer that option of ladies getting to shoot both different sizes makes a huge difference.
Absolutely. You've touched now my next question. When did you start doing firearms training, and what do you do? Competency training and other training, what are you involved with, and when did you start with it?
So I did my PFTC instructors course, if I'm not mistaken, it was 2014. So a good few years ago. And from there, as my parents' business, which is the Firearm Training Academy, they sort of grew, then I became one of their instructors as well. And one of the big parts of our company is the experience packages. So having the man on the street being able to come and experience a wide range of firearms. And so I was very involved with that as being the instructor for that. I was never full-time with the academy, so I never ran competency classes on their own, but I was often called in to assist ladies when it came to the practical side of things. I think when it comes to ladies, sometimes the male instructors can be quite intimidating. They're quite, rough, and they know what they're doing, and, they're strong, and it can be a little bit intimidating and makes a lot of ladies and even men quite nervous. So I've often been brought in to help ladies with their practical components, and I'm explaining the exact same thing and going through the exact same process, but they just feel a little bit more calmer, more at ease. So I was doing that as well. And then at one period, I was also offering one-on-one training. So you've got your firearm license now, you've got your competency and everything, and now you want to try out sports shooting. You want to do something a little bit different. So I was offering one-on-one training with ladies or juniors to get the chance to start seeing what sports shooting is like. And I think almost all of them by the end of it were going, that's it. That's what I'm doing. Where do I sign up?
Yes. Are you still doing the one-on-one training, or?
I'm not actively doing the one-on-one training. Every now and then I request to do it, and I will come in and help out. But unfortunately, with my other work commitments, I don't necessarily have as much free time as I did when I was studying. So yeah, if it's a special sort of request, or there's someone that's really serious about it, 100% ready to help them.
Yeah, we also find, so at the ladies' days that we hold, it's mostly all my range officers are ladies, and it makes a massive difference. And I never knew until I've actually starting to get feedback from things that I've done maybe 2 years ago, and ladies coming back to me and say, you know, you've made a difference in my life, because I would have never done it if there was a man actually training me. But you also said to me some guys prefer women trainers. I find that quite often, because we don't, there's no testosterone involved, and we're there just to teach them. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Tell me, what if you have a message to the women of the world about empowerment and being able to stand up for yourself and in the sport shooting world? What will that message be?
That's a tough one.
It's a tough one.
But I think when it comes to sports shooting in particular, because that is my main sort of field of interest, comment on, is, you know, don't let the men intimidate you. I know that that's a really hard thing to do, but this is your moment and you can do it. There's no one else that can get you there. You're the one that needs to put in the work and train. And you know, if you are training with a coach and you find that you're clashing, find someone else. There's so many people willing to help out there. But most importantly, just own it. You know, you can do it. Just because there's more men than women, we need to start changing those numbers around.
Absolutely.
Step up and just give it a try. You don't know until you've tried.
Thank you. That was an absolute awesome interview. Thank you very much. Lynette Oxley here for SHAC Tactical TV. I'm a Gosa girl on fire. I'm not a victim, and I'm every woman. Thanks, Alexis. Cheers.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.